So y'all thought we were just gonna leave y'all on that cliffhanger with Brittany Renner. No, we had to bring her back for our part two.
Wow, y'all sound good.
Thank you so much. We
See that? That's talent, man.
That is
natural
raw.
fucking
So if y'all ever
talent.
say B.Simone is not talented,
Hey, I need somebody to put us on They Have Range. It's one of my favorite Instagram pages to watch. It's called They Have Range.
this was they singing and shit.
Yeah. And they do like different challenges. Tank is always doing like a music. I love Tank. He's
I'm
always
not about to battle Tank.
I need Tank to remix. Let's do it one more time.
You go first.
No, you go first. You lead.
No, because you can never jump in.
Yes, I can, bitch.
Right.
Come on. We're back.
See, you jumped
No,
on my
let
note.
me. That was my part.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
They do
We're
your part.
I ran out of breath. But
Yeah,
that
but
That
would have been
sounded good.
nice.
the high. Like,
Brittany, come on. I need you to get.
Oh no,
Wait, can you just
I'm
start-
clapping.
Can you just start with Can you just hold a note?
Just hold it. Just hold
Just
one
hold
note, Brittany.
one,
We'll
and we'll find the
harmonize
harmony.
with you.
Just hold one.
B.Simone Beauty. You can shop now. I got it
Brittany
all.
said, "Look, bitch."
Anyways,
B.Simone Beauty.
Brittany's like, I live in my truth and I don't sing. Okay.
Yeah, we are back. We had to do part 2 with Brittany Renner, bundle of Brittany.
Yes.
You might know her as. We are back for Mental Health Awareness Month. But before we get into that, we do have we have 2 breaking newses.
Ooh, two.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. 2 breaking
Two?
newses. The first breaking news is we was number 10. I ain't gonna really like toot our horn. but we
Number
can-
10.
hey. Number 10.
Hey.
Yeah.
Number 10.
Number
First-
10.
First we went to
Hold
number
on. Insert my favorite fucking clip yet from DJ Khaled.
Boom. Okay. We was
Thank
number
you.
10.
I said,
First we were number like 24.
We were
That's-
we were 30s. We were in the
that's
30s.
fine.
So we were in the 30s on a certain category. It was
Society and culture. We were 30 something.
Then we moved to 20 something worldwide.
All categories.
world.
In the world on
Billions
Apple
of
Podcast.
people.
Bernie is the best hype man.
World.
And can we get into that? On that list, there were no people of color.
None. We were the
Yeah.
only people in the top,
Like 100 low key.
that
Yeah.
were black.
That's called
And
right.
black women.
Black
And our
women.
first time ever. Like we're 2 weeks into this. This is wild.
That's called impact.
Awesome.
It's called walking in your purpose.
Ooh,
it's
talk
called
about
truth.
it, Brittany. No, let Brittany
Okay.
do it. Let Brittany do it. Let Brittany
It's
do
called.
it.
It doesn't matter if you don't believe, because God believes.
God did. God did.
God did.
God did.
I'm
So
proud of
we-
you guys. So can
Thank
we?
you.
We went from number.
Yeah, get into it. And the best is yet to come.
The
Best is yet to
Because we
come.
still ain't hit number 1. So I mean, one day.
I mean,
we will.
after
it's coming.
after Brittany's episode,
Like what? She's taking us.
we know we number
that's
one.
it.
That's about
You
it.
know, so we went from number 24 to 18 to 12 to. I kept watching it. and then
It
we
was
got to
crazy
10.
because you called me
Then
and
we
I
got
was
to 10 and
like,
went back to 12. I was like, fuck. What's going on with that? Went back to 12 and then went back to 18. I was like, y'all fucking.
and now we at 13. And I'm like, what's
And
going
then
on?
32. How we going backwards? I was like, whoa, we backtracking.
Don't get too high on your highs. Don't get too low on your lows.
Literally,
That's great
I
advice.
called
Literally.
Megan. She was like, don't get too high.
Literally the first thing I said.
My ex used to always say that.
Ew, that's where
Yeah.
you got that from?
That's
Yes.
some sound advice, though.
It is sound, regardless if it came from him, it's sound
Yeah.
advice. Don't get too high on your highs, don't get too low. I literally, I was not only just the hitting the top 10, but it was like the messages that
The
we were getting, the
impact,
impact that we were having
man.
on people. It was making my chest tight. I kept calling B and I
Megan
was
was like,
like,
"My chest is tight."
my chest hurts.
Yeah.
And not because like I'm scared. I'm not really fearful of a lot of things, but I am. I take responsibility very serious. I take the influence or the impact that I have on people serious, and I don't ever want to be a person that is part of leading people in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And so I take that seriously, and the fact that people like really fucked with us and we You know what I'm saying?
Even like the
that's
last
crazy.
episode, we were like, it's not right. It's not the abortion episode. You know, we didn't plan that.
Yeah, we
it was
didn't plan
a
to
random
talk about
card
that.
we pulled.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not wrong. It's truth.
Yeah.
So with you say we don't want to lead people in the wrong direction. We just want to tell our story, tell our journey, tell our truth, and whatever you get from it. What's the saying?
Eat the meat,
Eat
spit out
the
the
meat,
bones.
spit out the bones. Whatever you get from it is for you, and whatever you don't, push it to the side. It's not for you. But we just want to make sure that we are, you always say, perpetuating a positive message in whatever we put out. Just the truth. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent.
And
we wanna
having
make
the
sure it's truth.
conversation.
Yeah.
Like, have the conversation.
You don't have to agree, but
Literally,
let's talk about it.
Right.
Our
know?
world is full of, it's a war against words and interpretations.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna go anywhere unless you ask the right questions and have the right conversation.
Yeah.
So we're so appreciative of every single person who.
got
Are we
a shot.
taking a shot?
Yes, for top 10.
Brittany, are you gonna take a shot with us?
And I'll chase it with wine. This is a big celebration because I am, first of all, I'm very honored to be here because, like, honestly, when I saw that you came out with a podcast, I think you dropped the news on your birthday, right?
I did.
Yeah,
We
so
did.
I was really excited because there is not a lot of representation, and I know, like, even just you guys individually, let alone together, you guys represent truth, you represent shedding light on shit, and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
There's not enough people, there's not enough truth-seeking people. There's just not.
Yeah.
And I there's too much fake shit, so
Yeah.
this is just some real
Absolutely. That's why we had to
queens in this
have the
bitch.
queen of the
Queen
real.
of the real on
gonna-
the show.
We shaking shit up.
We shaking shit up.
Here we go.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Number
baby.
one podcast in the
Love
world,
you
baby.
guys.
In the world.
We chase
Hey,
it with
did everybody
God
look each other in
did.
the eye?
Look me
You looked me in the eye?
God did.
God
did.
Let me
Best
chase.
drop
Fuck.
ever.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Y'all can tell I hate giving head. I said, "Ugh."
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Give me a minute.
Chasing it with wine is crazy. Y'all know that,
It
right?
is.
It's mind blowing. Okay. And I got the second good news to see. Well, not the breaking news. It's not good news. It's breaking news.
Breaking news.
So we got Bundle and Brittany back. I just
Brittany
had-
Renner. Do you want to know? What do you want to be
yeah.
called by?
I'm
What do you
sorry.
want to be known by? Is it Brittany Renner or is it
Whatever
Brittany?
anyone feels called
I know
to
that's
say.
right.
No,
I
hell
am
no. Because if you
whatever you
feel
say
called
I
to say
am.
something crazy to her, I'm coming for you. Trust me. I got this one now.
See,
now that
see,
I'm
Megan
di-
done went through the first episode. She's like, I fuck with her.
No,
I mean,
that's it.
obviously,
Come for her and you get me, and you don't want to get me.
Period.
I feel like I definitely used to be like, hey, everyone, it's Brittany Renner, a.k.a. Bundle of Brittany, but
Yeah.
now I just say it's Brittany Renner.
Okay, cool. So we got Brittany Renner. That's
Brittany
what it
Renner.
is.
That's what it
Because
is.
Bundle of Brittany, she's a whole different bitch.
I know that.
We honor her and respect her, but, you know.
She said, "No, we give reverence to her."
we do. But, you know, she's still separate.
Yeah.
So I have a fun fact.
Is it fun?
Is it a fun fact?
It is
okay, I need some
fun
wine.
because
for
it
that.
led me to the promised land.
Look
Brittany
great.
Renner was the person that told me on June 8th. Was it the 8th or the 7th? It was the 8th or the 7th. I can't remember. 2021. That my ex was cheating on me. She texted me and she said, I got some news.
I love the way she did this. Please break this
Wasn't
down
it
because
so
I
beautiful?
love the way she did this because
We got some tissue. I'm sorry.
No.
as a woman, that was bomb how you went about that shit.
It was
As a
so
woman.
graceful. It was,
Man,
and
it was so respectful.
She gave me the choice.
That's the
She
key.
didn't just. She did it.
Let's
she
tell
said-
the story.
Okay.
Let's just get into what happened. Let's get into what happened.
It was a hot summer day in LA.
Girl. Not a hot summer day.
It was a hot summer day. Stop, Brittany.
I'm sorry.
And then I want you to tell. Well, we'll get there. But your experience that you shared with me about you moving away from your ex. You know, because of the things we had dialogue. We talked a lot.
Tell the
I would
story.
send her paragraphs. She would send me paragraphs, and we were helping each other through the healing process. For real, I love you. We really were. Like I have a relationship with her outside of social media. She texts me. I wonder if I have the text. I probably do. And she was like, "You said I have."
Yeah.
She was literally like, "Hey, like." You know, I'm on your close friends. I know you don't put your guy out there a lot like that, but you keep posting the love of my life. Because I would always say that. Like, I was in love with this man. The love of my life, the love of my life, the love of my life. She was like, I really think you should know who the love of your life truly is. Some women want to know, some women don't. But I would be doing you a disservice if I did not tell you because I'm your friend outside of social media. Let me know what you would like to know. That's literally how she approached it. She wasn't like, this nigga's cheating on you. This nigga's a dog. This nigga that.
Because and the
Some
reason
women don't want to know.
and some women misery loves company. And some women want to be like, oh, why you over there smiling and shit, bitch? I know about you. And not in the evil way, but girl.
Yep. Just
so you know. And she didn't come at it like that. And that speaks a lot to her character. That speaks a lot to her character. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. I don't give a fuck what I don't give a fuck. I don't care. That speaks a lot to someone's character. For you to be in your own shit, going through your own shit, and not want another woman to go through this shit and be able to say, hey, listen, if you want to know, I'll tell you. And if you don't, I'm cool.
And guess what she said? She said, I wish somebody would have told me. So I am giving you the opportunity to know. She said that. I wish
she wasn't bitter and jaded because didn't nobody tell her.
She said, I wish somebody would have told me.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not that woman. So, bitch,
sing it.
I was,
Canary.
When I say my chest was like, doo-doo, doo-doo.
Because did you know in that moment?
I knew it was something bad. I didn't know. I don't think I knew what it was.
Yeah. Did you think it had something to do with your ex?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because she told me.
No, I'm saying when she said, I got something to tell, or you straight up said about your ex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She was like, you keep posting the love of your life, and I feel bad knowing that I know this information and we have a relationship outside
and I don't
of
tell
this
you.
Instagram shit. Like, I'm not best friends with Brittany Renner, but we communicate.
You have a relationship.
I check on her.
Yeah.
I've had deep conversations with her about healing, about growth, about evolution, about becoming better. We done cried through voice memos together.
Y'all have a relationship.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. This is my friend, outside of social media. So when she texted me that, I was like, all right, something's wrong. That's all I remember thinking. Was like, something is wrong. And she this is the girl that told me my ex was cheating on me, and she knew. We ain't got to get too deep into that. I mean, we can't, but she knew because he was trying to talk to somebody she knew. And she knew that information. She was like, I remember the words she said, I wish somebody would have told me. It wasn't out of ill intent. It wasn't malicious. I could tell it was a pure communication. And she was like, I said, oh, I want to know. She said, boop, sent me the receipts. Okay, baby J. We saw that. Get that on camera. Because she tried to sneak on in like a little pit bull. Stand up and walk. She was on all fours like a little Yorkie. I said, I'm sorry.
The whole point.
At this point, get up. You done moved the camera. I mean, the mic. But that is a breaking news fact. That bundle of Brittany.
Okay, so I want to know how you feel about that situation. Like, what were you feeling in that moment when you knew?
Yeah, and why?
Because it was the reason why you knew is because it was somebody that you were cool with.
And what is making you emotional in this moment? Like, why do you feel like? I think going back to that moment, we were both going through something when you told me that. But I don't know what you're feeling right now. But
well, I will say when the person I knew had told me that there was communication, I was very almost nonchalant, like, well, what the fuck does he want? Like, find out. Almost detached in a way to where it wasn't even really about my relation with her. It was just like, okay, well, what the fuck does he want? Like, find out. Like, I was more curious. So when I got those screen recordings and voice notes and everything, I was like,
it's the voice notes for me.
Yeah, it's the confidence, the fucking audacity for me.
No, I'm about to cry. I'm like, that is so annoying.
It is annoying.
Why did we drink wine?
It was the voice notes for me. I'm sorry.
And the person that I knew that obviously was the middle person for this, they're so detached to where it wasn't like a badge of honor. It was more like, dudes hit me up every day.
He's just another nigga.
And this is just someone that you know.
Done that.
She almost was like, this is somebody that you know. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I felt like at that moment when I had that information, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not best friends with her, but
I respect her enough.
She respects me. I respect her. She always salutes. No matter, and when people were bashing me, she would always salute me. So it's
I would be in the comment. I got bashed because of I would support her. I was
sticking up for me,
right,
and I
Brittany,
saw all
they canceling
that.
me too, bitch. I'm about to leave my comment.
So when I got that information, I was grappling with, okay, I'm not talking to her on a daily basis, but I feel obligated because I'm under her comments. I'm go bitch, yeah, you know, like if I can support you in public, I gotta support you in private. Then I gotta tell you the truth in private too. So I felt like I actually didn't tell her right away. It was I would have to probably go back to my phone and check my messages. I think I waited like 2 weeks or so because I just was like, maybe I'm meddling. And again, it's that mentality where I'm like, I'm a bad girl, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad woman. Like, this isn't my place to like interfere.
But I was able to receive it. I wouldn't have been able to receive that in my years ago. I'd have been like, okay, whatever. I would have still been dealing with, I was able to receive it different now because of my evolution.
Absolutely.
You know, you can receive it better when you are evolved and growing and you truly want the truth.
Absolutely.
You know? But I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you didn't interrupt. Yeah. No, it's good. But so it took me a while to tell you because I felt like we weren't like the best of friends. And I'm like, I'm kind of just a person that is fortunate enough to be on your close friends. You trust me enough to be your close friend.
She on now.
I was like, yeah, I'm on here. I get to see all the tea, you know? But it was just, it was triggering for me because I'm seeing you guys together.
Were you going through your own?
I was, but we weren't at that place of almost being out the door.
Got you.
I actually think you said it was June 7th or 8th.
I think it was in June.
We didn't end things until about the end of July.
Got you.
And I'll get into how that even happened too. But we were still kind of trying to make it work. I mean,
were you pregnant at this time or no?
No, my baby was 2 months old around that time. And if it was in June, it was probably a month old. He was a month old.
Oh, so you had already had your child.
Had your baby already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we were still
trying to figure
stuff out, and I wasn't even thinking we're about to break up, whatever. So I text her and I'm sick to my stomach because I'm even playing with my napkin my what's it called, Kleenex here, because it was so nerve-wracking because I'm what if she is calls me out my name or is mean to me or just because I'm delivering the message. But it was I was crying because I had found out so much stuff that it was I had called FaceTime these girls. There were 2 different girls
in your own relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd FaceTime 2 girls, and I had actually called another one. A whole different one. So 3 different women. And I was
how did you get these girls' numbers?
I went through his phone.
Yeah.
Oh, his
iPad.
iPad.
Yeah.
Because when I went through his phone, I didn't find anything. When I went through his iPad, he forgot to delete certain messages.
Apple Watch.
Yeah.
The cloud.
That
damn cloud.
Yeah.
Fuck. The fucking cloud,
literally,
bro.
It's just floating above.
Floating. Collecting all the info.
Dust. News.
So when I had
please delete those from
literally,
I got some.
I mean, I'm talking about FaceTime live photos where I'm recently deleted. I'm talking about just sloppy. So I had called these girls and I was like, look, I am
They answered? Oh, because it was from his iPad.
Yeah, because I thought it was him.
You smart.
Listen, I literally one of the girls
with the baby.
Literally,
no, the floor, bitch.
It's not even about them though.
It's not.
No, it's not.
One of the girls that plays basketball, I'm not gonna say her name, but I remember calling her. She was smiling on phone.
She plays basketball.
She plays basketball as well. We're not gonna say her name.
No, what's her name?
No, are you out of your mind?
What's her name?
We're not doing that.
You don't have to put it on the podcast. What's her name?
So listen, we had FaceTime and she's smiling. So she's smiling ear to ear, and I'm like, I know you thought this was him, but it's me. Hi, okay.
Oh, so you didn't? You left the phone faced up.
No, at first she didn't. I had my face out of it.
So you didn't have your face in the.
When she answered it, she
thought it was him.
She did.
You are so smart.
Here's Johnny. I know this wasn't true.
It's God damn it.
So
my scary
but see, even in this moment too, I'm trying to use humor to lighten it.
No,
that's again that dark humor.
Yeah.
The Hydra Sun is that dark humor.
It's literally I'm trying not to cry.
I'm trying not to.
Trauma.
I literally almost cried a minute ago. I was
So you pop in the frame and you're like,
and so I'm asking her these questions. I know what I see.
And she stayed on the phone.
She answered every question I had.
What?
Wow.
And she was like, it is platonic. It is not what you think. It is not that. Every girl I talked to said the same thing.
Was it a lie?
Yeah. So
they were already trained to know to lie to you if they got caught.
Or they just knew. They knew he was in a relationship with her.
They knew.
So I know, but I'm saying they were trained to lie.
Of that. And to be honest, that's why you were able to get as many bitches as you did. Because it was oh, well, you put Brittany Renner right here, and so you want to try to be equivalent, greater than or equal to. So you thought fucking with him, sitting on the same dick that I sat on, made you the same bitch.
Ooh.
It doesn't.
Ooh.
So it's like, so that had happened. It doesn't. You'll never be, not even on your best.
I felt the energy on my back.
Listen, not even on your best day with your best fucking wig.
It doesn't
okay?
matter.
You're never come close.
Never.
To the
because really, you want to be me.
Listen.
And you're a fan, bitch.
Listen.
You're a fucking fan.
You walking around going, baby girl, and you fucking my nigga. What?
Niggas think that bitches be oh, I want him. I want him. I want him. I want him. You want to be me, baby.
Big difference.
There's a difference. And so why niggas going around holding they nuts thinking that they somebody, let me understand, that bitch is fucking with you because she wants to be me.
She wants my life.
She wants to be able to invoke emotion out of you that only I can invoke. She wants to be able to get you in a position that only I have been able to get you in. She wants the rewards of the labor that I have put in to make you the man that you are, that has put you in the position that you are in. Bitch, she wants me.
Yeah. Bitch, you want
to
bump
him.
You don't want to bump pussies, bitch. You want to fucking eat my pussy, bitch.
You want me.
Basically. Be for real.
You want me.
And I may be open to that, but bitch, you went about it the wrong way.
It's mind-blowing to me. Y'all niggas sit there and really think that y'all are the thing that women are after, and they're not. Women want the effect that other women have on men.
You stay back.
I'm just move it. Talk, Brittany. I'm done.
Okay, no, you're good. No, I love what you said.
It's fucking annoying. Okay.
So I had gone through that, but that again was still, I had went through that around February, March. So that was still way months before that you and I had that communication in June. But I knew how it made me feel, where it was like I had to continuously, like, I checked his phone, like his iPad another time, so I was able to see the text messages that obviously canceled out that theory of them just being friends or platonic or whatever. And I'm telling you, these girls I had to get on the phone with were like, I'm gonna follow you, you're so cool, oh my, I'm telling you, it was so sick that I'm like
you lost your fucking mind.
I'm telling you.
They were lying to you.
Yes, and I'm telling you, these girls, like, we were following each other once we got off the phone. That's why I'm telling you, deranged, bitch. Y'all are the bitches that are unhinged. Everybody likes to play like, oh my God, Brittany Renner's so crazy. No, I'm all there. And that's why it seems crazy to you, because y'all are not all fucking there. So I knew this episode was going to just, like, coming to see you guys was going to be so healing, because I knew I was going to be touching on stuff like this. But it was like, it was so hurtful that women, like, when I called you and I asked you, and I wasn't being accusatory, I didn't call you out of your name. I said, look, I'm not mad at you. I'm not in a relationship with you. I'm in a relationship with him. I'm mad at him. Please, like, set me free.
So did you hold them accountable?
With what?
I
did call one of them back. Okay. And I FaceTimed the one, and I was like, why did you lie about this? And she was still trying to die by the lie, saying that's not true, that's not true. And I had to read verbatim what she said over text. Okay. And at that point, she said, okay, it wasn't always platonic.
Oh, God.
And I was like, okay.
When she was 100% caught.
Right. So, but I had to replay.
I had to screenshot to show you or
tell
whatever.
You what you said. You said you couldn't wait to feel him.
Jesus.
That doesn't sound like friends to me.
Jesus. I had my ex's voice, and he still was like, no, man, she wanted. I said, okay.
And I'll go ahead and, because I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, because I know that you don't want to be like in that middle of that, but I know that that particular person thinks that they had said things like, oh, she just wants clout.
Oh,
they had planned that together, me and my friend, and I'm
100%.
like, that's what's crazy.
It's crazy.
Is that you guys will paint this fucking narrative, because again, when you're labeled as a bad girl,
told me, oh, they're setting me up.
Setting you up? Then you failed, bitch.
I heard your voice.
You failed the setup. You fucking failed.
You failed the setup.
But I heard your voice. What was the setup?
What was the setup? And in reality, I was, like I said, when my friend had told me that, I'm like, well, what does he want if he keeps calling you? Why does he keep texting you? And that particular person, like I said, we'll leave her nameless.
Yeah, of course.
Was like, she wasn't responding to him and showing me like, I'm not responding to him. We'll find out what he wants, bitch.
Well, let's just be clear. Ain't nobody mad at her.
Nobody.
Not one person is mad at her.
Not mad at her. Not mad at Brittany. I literally feel like God used her as a vessel.
Yeah.
Baby, you got to go.
Let me let me say another thing. If you are a woman still coming to a woman
as a woman,
you with the wrong fucking man.
Grow the fuck up.
You with the wrong nigga. That's the bottom line.
Period.
I should never have to go to another woman.
Period.
As shit. I don't care if I'm a woman, a dog, a donkey, nothing. I don't need to come to you as shit.
Yeah. 100%.
That's ridiculous.
100%.
It is.
And any man that puts me in a position to have to go to a woman,
I shouldn't be with him.
I'm not with you. I'm not with the right person.
I shouldn't be with him.
Bottom line.
If I have to come to you woman to woman about a man, I'm with the wrong man.
I'm with the wrong guy.
I am with the wrong man.
Because a man, a real alpha man, a real leader, is going to give me that information before a woman has to come to me as a woman.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to tell me,
Come on.
as a man, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before I have to come to a woman as a woman, my man should come to me as a man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm doing.
This is what's going on.
This is what's going on.
This is the truth. This
Period.
is who I am. But men can't come to you and tell you who they are because they don't know and they haven't accepted who they are.
They haven't.
They haven't.
They know who they are. They haven't accepted who they are.
Yeah.
They haven't
Yeah.
accepted the truth
And,
of who
and
they
I
are.
do and I do want to say, because like from writing about it in my book to doing different interviews, like I've been a side bitch. When the main bitch calls, I'm going in the other room. I've been on both sides. I've worn both masks. Like I've been the girlfriend and I've been the side bitch. I know what it's like. And to go through all that stuff that I went through, you know, days before my 29th birthday and finding all that stuff out, I was just like, you know, things probably would be a little different if I had known, if one of those girls could have like told me the truth. And at the time, I was not ready to receive that.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
even if they would have told me the
have to
truth,
be
what would
able
I have done? I can't tell you what
Yeah.
I would have done.
You have
But
to
it's
be
just
ready
like,
to
I just
receive the
saw
truth also.
how I know, like I have been, at the end of the day, regardless of personal relationship or not, I follow you on Instagram. And I know that you were single for a long time before you were like, this is my guy.
You knew that was genuine.
It was genuine.
You knew it was
Love
And I
genuine.
saw
him.
myself in her. And I was like, sick to my stomach when I would see you posting him. I'm like, God, that was me. Like, that's
Jesus.
me.
And how many women,
How
how many
were,
women knew about
this stupid ass talking about me in the group chat instead of fucking uplifting me, telling me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell
Like,
me.
honestly, I could respect any bitch that could have at least told me, dude, your guy slid in my DMs. We could still be friends right now.
Yep.
Because I could respect that. But it's like
Yep.
the fact that you thought you were gonna do all that behind my back
Yep.
and you thought you were equivalent, bitch,
Yep.
fuck you, bitch.
Yep.
Fuck you and fuck that nigga.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it was just like
Yep.
in that moment I was like, well, I could tell her. I'm like, well, maybe she'll find out because if it's not meant to be
Later.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Whatever's
But-
meant to be will be.
But
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But if I had known the truth, it would be a different situation. But the reality is my son was meant to be here. So that's why it wasn't meant for me to know. But it's like
Wow.
different situations would have happened if I had had the full truth to choose from. It's on the table. This is what I got to choose from. The answer is no. So I just was like, I know how her worth and like what she stands for. Fuck that shit.
I'm gonna
And
tell her.
I had gone to, and I'm gonna have to just throw this in here, right? On
Yeah.
just like my own personal opinion. I had gone to his page, just creeping and trying to psychoanalyze and intuitively gauge like who he is, and I'm like, you're not over that. You ain't never gonna be into nothing
on.
because of that.
Come on.
We're not even gonna say what it is.
I
It's
know
a
what you
very
mean.
touchy subject.
on.
But when I saw certain comments on certain people's profiles, like this ain't gonna work. And then it was like,
And
then
I
you
got- I
add that
got
type
attacked,
of
but- yep.
information. Then
I
you
got
add
attacked
that
because of
information.
that.
I'm
Yep.
like, as a woman, how could I sit here and uplift this woman when I know what I know?
Yeah.
That would make me a fake ass, stupid ass bitch.
Yeah.
But,
I agree.
but let's
I
keep it a
agree.
buck. There's a lot of bitches
I
who
agree.
fucking with niggas and under they main chicks comments like, hey girl, yes bitch, you look great, boo.
And
all
we
the
know-
while,
we know.
all the
Yeah.
while, you messing with her man, and you
husband.
know that, and you know that
Not
she
even
don't
her
know,
boyfriend, her
and you
husband.
allowing her to high five you and yes, sis,
That's
you
not, that's wrong.
knowing
That's wild.
that you,
That's wild. That's
knowing
wild.
that she doesn't know that you're messing with her guy.
That's wild. That's wild.
It's so
And so
wild.
this is my thing, women. Enough
Enough.
with
Stand
this
the fuck up.
uplifting women,
Enough.
and
Enough.
I'm a feminist and I'm
Enough.
pro this. And
No, you're not.
And you sit there and you allow these men to play these women who don't know no better. When I say it is I wish I could get into how touchy that subject is.
Yeah.
But women, be careful of women who want to befriend you and be your friend and be at your crib. Don't let, as a woman who is married for 12 years, don't let no bitch at your house.
Period.
Every bitch can't come to your house.
Right.
Every bitch can't be around your man. That's a thing. I get it now. I didn't get it back then. I get it now. Everybody can't be around your man. Every female can't be at your house.
A part of your
kicking
family.
It and
Everybody
being
ain't family.
Everybody ain't for you.
Jesus.
And there's a lot of women who see
Jesus.
what you have and are envious of it and will go to the ends of the earth to have it. To have and destroy what you have. Or be a part of it, because it ain't never the woman's fault. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It ain't never
the
your
man
fault.
I'm committed
it's
to.
a
It's
man.
his fucking
his
fault.
fucking
Yeah, I
fault.
ain't never mad
It's
at a
his fault.
woman.
Yeah.
I ain't never. But I am gonna hold women accountable.
Absolutely.
Because you will not sit there and be like pro women and I'm this and yes, bitch.
And you know he's in a relationship.
And
You
all
know
the
he's
while,
married. You know he just had a baby.
You high
know.
fiving your homegirl who's fucking a married man.
That's wild.
That's wild.
It's wild.
To me.
It's wild.
Stop.
It's wild.
Stop. That's wild.
It's wild.
Yeah.
If you are a female that's still doing that and you sitting there
Grow
talking
up.
about, grow up.
Grow up.
You're childish.
Grow up.
And grow up. And you are the fucking problem.
Yeah.
You're a part of
You're
the
a part
problem.
of the problem.
Yeah.
You're a part of the
And
problem.
I will say too, as somebody who, which I love that irony is truly spectacular and that karma never misses, because there was a time in 2018 I was a side bitch to a person who was a baller. You know, they had a girlfriend who was like 8 months pregnant. We were both at the game, right?
Christ.
Guess what? It happened to me like 4 years later, 3 years later.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
It does, and I thought for the longest time, ooh, I'm one of God's favorite. He spared me. And it happened to me.
Yep.
And that's exactly what the fuck I get.
Yep.
You
Yep.
thought you were exempt from what the fuck you did
Yep.
3 years ago?
Yep.
You're going to have to answer to
Consequences.
everything you do.
Everything.
Yep.
Everything you do.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's why it's like, I get it. A lot of women don't feel worthy of first.
Yeah.
I remember feeling like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, no man's ever going to wife me. And I got joy in knowing your relationship's not real. Love's not real.
Jesus. Like you
That's
said,
why I'm
misery
telling you, I've played all
You
sides.
played
I have
all
no
sides.
judgment because,
Yeah.
bitch, I've been every fucking thing.
But here's
Yeah.
the thing: holding yourself accountable does not exempt him from being held accountable to his
Absolutely.
shit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely,
for
absolutely,
every
yes, yes.
for every action, there's an opposite and
There's a
equal
reaction.
reaction.
Yep.
So every action and every decision has a consequence. And so yes, you can stand on your own and be like, you know what, I was a side bitch, so I take that. If that was my karma, whatever, I take that.
Okay.
But it doesn't
Exempt him.
Of course.
from
It
the
doesn't.
shit that he did.
did.
And that's the thing that I hate about the way we do society is that we'll look at a situation like a Brittany Renner and we'll be like, well, she was a side bitch, so how you gonna get mad that he had side bitches?
Yeah.
You were a side bitch.
Yeah.
That's karma. Karma.
Yeah.
Whatever, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that he's exempt from being held accountable to his actions. At the end of the day, she had a relationship with that man.
Yeah.
He said
Yeah.
that he wasn't going to cheat
Yeah.
anymore, or he was
Yeah.
going to be faithful, or he
Yeah.
wanted a family, or whatever.
Yeah.
And she took that
Yeah.
for that.
And something
That's
I can,
not right.
But another difference is something I can respect about a Brittany Renner is she not shitted on herself, but she was like, that was fucked up. She's not praising what she
Yeah.
did.
She's not glorifying
She's
it.
not
Disgusting.
glorifying what she did. She is growing from it. She's evolving. She's healing. She is saying what I did was not correct. And look at me now.
And just
I
so
got
that
the
we're
karma
clear,
from it 4 years later.
Brittany, you feel that being a side chick is not a good thing.
Correct.
Correct. She said it.
I would
she's
never
not
suggest
glorifying that lifestyle.
And stop making people feel like because they're living and walking in their truth that they're only held in that box. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you were a side chick, so I can only
Yeah.
look at you as a side chick. No, Brittany Renner can say I was a side chick and I learned from that, and I don't ever want to be a side chick. Just like B said, I had an abortion. That's
Come
my
on.
truth. I'll never have an abortion again.
Come on.
There is a difference. Stop. Continue the sentence. Continue the narrative. Stop thinking that because one thing is true, that something else
They
can't
can
be
both
true.
coexist.
It's
They
not
can both
mutually
coexist.
exclusive.
Yeah.
She has been a side chick, and she doesn't think being a side chick is
Is
right.
okay.
They're not mutually exclusive. Stop
there's a
with that
difference.
fucking narrative. It's
There's a
annoying as
difference.
shit.
Yeah,
and
there's
I
a
get it.
difference.
It's like whatever. I get it. It's fun. It's clickbait. I'm mad at my life, so it's easy to be mad at a Brittany Renner or a B.Simone or whatever. But it's like, stop. That doesn't mean that she deserved to be cheated on.
100%.
Period. It doesn't mean that.
And I'm happy that you highlighted that, because I feel like people could take that clip and be like, well, I mean, what did you expect? That's what you were supposed to get. You know, so it's like, I didn't sign up to be cheated on. I didn't sign up to be lied to. And especially having a baby at 29, I thought I was doing it right. Like, I'm like, I waited. I wasn't like 20 and pregnant, 16 and pregnant, I'm going to get it right. But it's
because I'm pretty sure you could have had babies with
I could have had
higher caliber men than
and could have
your child's father. No disrespect, but you know what I mean.
But the truth.
But
if it comes off as disrespect, then disrespect
it's
all
just,
intended. That's fine. I mean, that's just what it is.
Niggas were popping.
Niggas were fucking raw and nothing. I mean, what are we saying? Like, you know what I mean? It was never about that. It was about, I thought we were going to have a family together. So I feel like when all of that stuff transpired and early on, I just had wished some girl would have just been like, I see her, I connect with her, because sisterhood ain't about color, it's about connection. It's like, I wish someone would have seen themselves in me and had just told me the truth. So it was like, telling you was probably one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever done. And I want to fucking highlight, please, when I told this woman, I may have been a day or two, maybe not even 2 days. She dropped him like a bad habit.
No, it was the same day.
The same day, okay.
It was the same day.
I think I had hit her the next day, and I was like, "Are you good?"
She dropped him the same day.
So I want to say this too,
that
because
day,
and I hadn't talked to him since it's been 10 months.
And I
ran into him in Charlotte about a month ago, but other than that, 10 months.
And I have to give you your flowers, okay? Because there's a lot of things I give you your flowers on, but like this particular instance, when I saw you drop him, and that's really like why I feel like another reason why I was crying too earlier was because when I saw this woman drop him like a bad habit, I was like, her strength.
I loved him, man.
I'm like, how was she able to do that? Why can't I get up? Like, why can I not respect myself and love myself enough to leave?
But it takes this.
And I wasn't ready.
Yeah, you weren't
ready.
You weren't ready.
I wasn't ready. She told
ready.
me. She told me the beginning of June. And I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But it was like, people don't understand how important each of our stories are. Like, you think you're not impacting anybody, but it was like, because of her strength, I started thinking like, if she can drop this person that she doesn't have this like tie to, this baby, why can't I respect myself? Like, she's walking in her power and her purpose. Why can't I do the same? And it took me some time to like integrate that conversation. But it was like, that's why I'm crying. Because like, you are such a part of my story where it was like, I had the fucking balls to leave. And a lot of women don't, because they're not a B.Simone. They're not a Brittany Renner. They don't have that same earning potential. It's
but you can.
different. You can. But you got to choose yourself.
You have to pour into yourself, and you have to love yourself to the point where it really... When you do the self-work and you try to heal from trauma and you try to do the healing and you love yourself and you pour into yourself, anything that anybody else adds is just your cup overflowing.
Yeah.
My ex was not filling up my cup. My cup was already full. I loved him so much, but I'm going to be good without you. I'm going to be good with you.
Yeah.
Me leaving was not, I'm not going to be okay. I'm going to cry. I'm going to have to heal. But
She still cries to this day.
I still cry.
And that's okay. That's healthy.
I cried about it maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago when we had that conversation. You know, literally something came up and I was like, that triggered me. You're still going to have triggers. You're still going to have to heal. But when it was I've never done that before, though. Don't make it seem like I'm just this bad. I had to learn that. I had to learn to choose myself and love myself first. I had never done that before, ever, in a relationship. Girl, what, 2 years ago, I would have still been with that nigga. I would have still been with him, crying with the person that hurt me, crying with the person that made me cry. You have to eventually choose yourself first and move forward and know that with or without you, I am enough. And we talked about that in the past Brittany Renner episode. With or without you,
I'm okay.
I'm full.
The garden is beautiful without you.
With or without you, I'm full.
Can I tell you something that when you said garden, and you said this in the last episode, and it kept ringing true to me. There was a place in my life last year where I went through the darkest time of my life. Literally, this was like the apex of, or is it apex? Apex or apex of?
I think apex
of
damn
shit coming to a head for me last year. And I went through a really dark time. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I want to make sure that I touch on this a little
tap
bit.
into that. Yeah.
But the word that kept coming was wilderness. And in wilderness, I think I wrote about it, and I can pull it up. But the definition of it was a garden. And I thought about that because I feel like when you are in a place of such vulnerability and a place of just, because that's when you're hurt, you're at your most vulnerable, right? That's just like all of you just being, that's like the Band-Aid being ripped off, and you're just exposed.
It's just raw.
It's just raw. A wound, just raw in front of you. And I felt like I was at a point in my life where I was looking at my garden. I had to address my garden, and my garden didn't look the way that I thought it looked. And I had to come to a place where I'm like, damn, like I'm watering this garden. I'm giving it light. I feel like I'm doing all the right things, and nothing is blooming. It's not blooming the way I want it to bloom. Why is it not blooming? And I got to a place where I appreciated the things that died in that garden, because even the dead things became the fertilizer to the new things that were going to grow, right? They have their place, and they all have a purpose. And that's why I named my when I talk about mental health, or when I talk about autism, because my son is autistic, and when I talk about it, I named it Significant Pieces, my blog, where I talked about my journey of being a mom that has a child with autism, because everything is significant. And even the things that die, even the things that hurt us, even the things that betrayed us, even the things that broke us, they have their purpose. And I found so much of myself in the wilderness. I found so much of myself in the garden that didn't bloom.
That's kind of the only way you can find yourself, though.
Yeah. And it made me appreciate what happened. It made me appreciate the betrayal. It made me appreciate the hurt, because had that not happened, I wouldn't be able to identify my garden.
Same.
Do you see what I'm saying? And so doesn't take responsibility away from the parties that hurt us, right? That betrayed us. It doesn't take that away. But I was able to now face Megan. And there was so much in my life where I was defending myself against other people, but now I had to defend myself against myself. And now I have to address me. Because no matter what happens, right, we all have a part to play.
100%.
We all have a role.
We gotta address our mess.
We all have. My mom used to say this to me all the time. She said, Megan, if you don't deal with reality, reality will deal with you.
Or remember, your mom used to come home and she did it. She would say, well, what did you do?
She said, well, somebody could come and slap me in the face at school, right? Somebody could pick on me. Somebody could do, and my mom would be like, well, what did you do? It was never about what they did. It was always about, what did you do? What were you at? What were you doing before that? What happened before that? What did you say? What was your? She always held me accountable to my actions. Didn't take away from the other party's actions. But she always held me accountable to my actions. She would always say, if you don't deal with reality, reality will deal with you. And so there comes a point when you are betrayed by the one that you love the most.
It's so needed, though.
Where you are now forced to deal with
you.
And it brought me to a place where I had to address my mental health in a way that I never addressed it before. I used to always push everything to the side and be a mom and be a wife and do your work and everything's fine. Just work. Just focus on, just do. And that didn't sustain me anymore. Now I have to address me. Now I have to address myself. And I bring that up because I want to know, in those situations that you guys dealt with, because you dealt with similar situations. Fortunately, you had a Brittany Renner that came to you and got to you before, because you could have still been in that situation.
I had no idea. I was in pure bliss.
Right? You could be where Brittany is, and thank God for your son, who is beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank God for him,
Little man.
because he has a purpose and plan,
Absolutely.
and God was so intended to have him here.
Absolutely. It was written.
It was meant to be. Before the foundations of this earth, he
was
knew
gonna
that
be here.
that child would be here, and he had a purpose and a plan for him. So thank God for him. But in that moment, after the betrayal, what did that do? Both of you, it's a question for both of you, because I know what it did for me. What happened to you in that moment? What did it do to you in the negative way and in the positive way?
All right, you guys, we're about to take a quick break, and we got some Black-owned businesses for y'all to check out.
We only promote products and businesses that we love and we believe in.
Yes.
And this is the Happy Colon Cleanser. It is a one-day cleanser by Peculiar People Holistic.
guys.
Listen.
Let me tell you something. Make sure you don't have nothing to do that day.
Nothing.
Make sure you drink a lot of water.
PTO, take your time.
You're going to be on the toilet, but it's worth it. It's only one day. You can dedicate one day
Just
to
one.
it, okay? But it's bomb. It's a colon cleanse. It's going to clean you out and get you all right on the inside, all that junk you've been eating. But they also have, which I'm super excited about, turmeric facial bars and natural sea moss bars. I love this because turmeric really, really helps with dark spots. So that
Even out
helps
your
even
skin
out your skin tone.
Yes. Guys, we usually go to like the Asian spas and get like a V-steam, but they have this where you can do it from the comfort of your own home.
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's more convenient.
Intimate.
It's going to help tighten. Because some of y'all loosey-goosey. I ain't going to say no names. Okay. I ain't going to say no names. Don't worry.
It's only me and you in here, so what are you implying? Baby, because I'm tight, okay? Tight.
Get it right, get it tight. But this will help you, and it also helps with menstrual cramps, which was one of my issues.
Yes.
So make sure you guys check out Peculiar People. What's their website?
It is www.peculiarpeopleholistic.com.
And we are back to the show. I think the biggest lesson for me was, mine was more positive. As you evolve and you grow and you mature, you try to look on the brighter side of things. My more positive message was, I really was doing the self-work previous to my relationship. And that's the only reason I was able to walk away, not happy, not geeked about it, but
walk away and still have some parts of yourself.
Yes, parts of myself. I didn't lose myself. I didn't go into a deep, deep depression, but because I did the self-work. That's the only reason. Prior. I mean, I was single for a decade before I was with this man. And leading up to that, from the journaling to the therapy to the yearning for healing, even though I'm still not fully healed in certain areas from whatever, tons of, I'm not even going to talk about that right now, bitch. I'm about to break down. Certain areas, family stuff. I'm trying and yearning for that healing and doing the self-work. That situation showed me.
You love yourself.
What? God literally put him in my life to be like, okay, you preaching all this self-love to these girls. You preaching all this, you don't have to deal with this to these girls. You preaching all
Manifest the life you want.
Manifest the life you want to these girls. When I put you in the position, B.Simone, are you going to practice what you're preaching? Are you going to do what you are preaching to these 5.7 million followers? Okay, bet. Boom. You love yourself? Okay. All right. She might be ready for the next chapter of her life. Okay, she walked away. That's not her husband. It was just a little test. Boom. I feel like it was literally just a test from God. All this shit you're preaching, put it into
It was an opportunity.
It was an opportunity.
It was an opportunity to love yourself.
It was an opportunity to love yourself. And all the stuff I preach, when I'm doing those rants on Instagram, I'm talking to myself too. I'm not just talking to y'all. I'm talking to myself. Love yourself. Do the. I'm talking to Braylon Greenfield. I'm not talking to B.Simone. I'm talking to Braylon Greenfield. That was an opportunity to walk in what I preach and prove that I loved myself. And for the first time ever.
You chose you.
Forever. At 31. I was 31 at the time.
And let me tell y'all something.
Ever.
You have to.
I've never done that.
You have to choose yourself,
I've
and
never
not
done
in a
that.
way of being selfish.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times the message can come across, not you, I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
I think the message can come across like, choose you, pick you,
Yeah.
make yourself first, da-da-da-da. And it can be selfish. It can come across in a selfish tone. Learn how to build a healthy relationship with you.
With yourself.
And it's really the relationship part that's more important to me than just the idea of like, put you first. It's really knowing who you are and having a healthy relationship with you so that you know and you are okay to walk away. And you're not lacking because you walked away. And I commend you and you for being women that walked away and held their ground and didn't negotiate on a non-negotiable, because that takes a lot of strength to do that. To know yourself and to choose yourself and to love yourself. It takes a lot of fucking strength to do that.
It takes work, ladies.
When society tells you that your worth is predicated on a man.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work.
And I will say, though, like, I don't know when I would have left if I didn't have you as, like, that influence in my life.
Wow.
Like, that's how I feel, though. And that's why I feel like it makes me emotional, because you were such a huge influence. We didn't have to be best friends. Like, and I'm so happy to be able to, like, tell you this to your face, because we text about stuff like this, but it's like, I don't really know how long I would have stayed.
Wow.
If, like, you wouldn't have just, when you dropped him like a bad habit, I'm
Brittany
telling
was
you,
like, okay, so
it
like,
haunted me, and I'm like, why the fuck this bitch just love herself like that? Like, how is she able to just?
she was like,
okay,
so did
bye.
you talk to him? Did, like, what did he? I was like, girl, I ain't talked to him. And then it was a week. Then it was 2 weeks. Then it was 2 months. Then it was 3 months. She was like, so what's going on? I said, no, I have not talked to him since the day you told me.
But my mind at the time, I couldn't even wrap around. I'm like, how was she able to just choose herself? Because I had been choosing him this whole time.
Yeah.
Not myself.
And that's hard, because love is a selfless act. It is a constant selfless act. And I think that we think that love is supposed to choose the other person before you choose yourself. And I don't think that that's the right message. It's to consider. It's to consider the other person, but it's not to choose the other person over yourself. It's to consider what they might feel or what they might react or respond to in the things that you do, but it's not to choose the other person over yourself. It's to consider the other person over yourself. And I think what love, it works when both people are doing that same thing, but if both people aren't doing the same thing, then love,
it's one-sided.
It's one-sided, and it's hard to do that. But what I guess I want to pose the question of, how did that affect you guys'
mental
health? Because I'll say for me, I've never experienced what I experienced last year.
Yeah.
Mentally,
I've never seen you like that ever.
I guess I'll ask, what was your perception of me last year based off of?
Can I interject? Because
please.
I'm like an outsider looking in. Y'all are like best friends.
Yeah.
What happened last year?
I went through one of the most hurtful. I just had someone hurt me really, really bad.
Okay.
Really bad. And I wasn't expecting that to happen from that person.
Okay.
And it wasn't, and I don't put the sole responsibility on them, because I feel like there were numerous events and times and moments that contributed to me feeling the way that I felt. But I'll be honest with you, in 2019, early 2019, I was diagnosed with bipolar depression.
I was just about to.
And I probably, when I had to go through, you have to go through an evaluation, right, to be diagnosed as that. You go through an evaluation. And when I was being evaluated, she said, this is probably something that you've battled your entire life. And I looked back on my life, and I remember being 16, cutting, writing letters to my mom of, I didn't want to be here. I'm sorry if I don't wake. Like, I remember taking bottles of pills, wishing not to wake up in the morning. I mean, those were things that actually happened to me. Like, those are things that I actually did. Not having a logical understanding of something's wrong.
Yeah.
It was just, I didn't want to be here anymore.
This is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
This isn't conducive to who I am.
Yeah.
This life doesn't fit me.
Yeah.
And so, or being deceived that I am a problem because I am the way that I am. Mm-hmm. Something's wrong with me, right? Or the way I feel or the way I perceive things. So I remember going through those things as a teenager, but then when I was diagnosed in 2019, it kind of made sense. It was like, oh, you have a chemical imbalance. Mm-hmm. This is why you are the way you are. This is why you have these thoughts. This is, and then last year there was a situation that happened, and it brought everything to a head for me, where it's this idea of hopelessness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hope doesn't exist anymore.
I have never seen you in that way, ever. And this, we talk about it all the time. This relationship is my most, with my parents, with my grandparents, my sister, my friends, my relationships. Anybody, this is my most successful relationship in life. Mm-hmm. Because
Same. The work that went into it.
You have challenged me in a way that I didn't even know was needed out of friendship. You have challenged me to be more loving, less selfish, more understanding, more open-minded, more empathetic, sympathetic. And I've never experienced this dynamic in any other relationship. And even with your bipolar depression, sometimes I have to be like, okay, is she just, it affects me too. It
forces you to think.
It forces me to think.
Mm-hmm.
It forces
me
consider. To think, to consider, to have empathy, to have patience, to love. To love. It forces me to do that. And that's how you know, like, I really love this person. I am making the choice to commit to loving them in spite of how I feel. In spite of how I feel, how they make me feel. Mm-hmm. I am choosing to love them every single day. And I've never had that in a relationship. And I value that. And I'm glad I've experienced it, because it showed me to look at life in a total different lens. A total different lens.
So what was your experience, I guess, when I went through, because with bipolar depression, you have type 1 and you have type 2. Type 1 people, they go through very drastic manic stages where they are hyperactive, and signs of it is like they spend a lot of money, or they're super sexually active, and there are certain signs of a manic stage. For me, I'm more type 2. Like, I am more on the lower end of the spectrum. I have more depressive stages, and my manic stages aren't as long. Last year, I went through the worst stage of my life, where I literally gave up any hope of anything good. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like being accused. I told you this. The best example that I have is, say you get arrested right now. Say the cops come down and arrest you for murder. Okay. And you're like, I didn't murder. Like, you didn't murder anybody.
Yeah.
But you're arrested, you're taken to jail, and you are convicted of murder, even though you didn't
do it.
But maybe you were around the scene. Maybe you were in the area. Maybe some of your DNA happened to be around.
But you didn't do it.
But you know for a fact that you didn't do it, but you're stuck and you're trapped in this cell, knowing the truth, but you can't get out. That is what it's like, having this feeling of feeling not worthy, but knowing you're worthy.
You know the truth. Yeah.
I know the truth, but I can't get
Your
out.
truth isn't matching with what you
It's
feel.
not there. No one else sees the evidence.
Okay.
Wow.
Even though I know I didn't do it. I know I'm worthy.
I know I'm worthy.
I know I'm
I have
not.
a purpose.
I know I make mistakes just like everyone else. I know that I'm not worse than anyone else. I know I'm human. I know that, but I can't get free. And that's what it's like to go through, for me, my own personal experience. I'm not saying everybody who has bipolar depression or whatever goes through that. But that's what it feels like to me. It's like to know the truth. I know that God loves me. I know that I'm called. I know that I have a purpose and a plan for my life. But I can't get free of where I am. That's what it feels like. And that was where I was at 90% of last year, from top to bottom. Just
because this one particular relationship you valued,
this situation
like triggered it in a way.
Triggered it to rock bottom.
Yeah.
How do you feel about their relationship now?
There is no relationship with that person.
So I guess, what are your feelings surrounding that relationship, I should say? Because I feel like at one point in time they meant something to you.
Oh yeah, this person was.
They were a messenger in some way, but now you're like, okay, whatever, cool. But so how do you feel about them now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And do you feel like you're healed from it?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Not 100%. Like, I know the truth. Again, I know the truth.
Yeah.
I know that has nothing to do with me. I know that was a projection. I know that, I know the truth of the situation. I'm fully aware. I'm a very self-aware person.
Yeah.
I'm fully aware.
Yeah.
I know
all there.
I know the areas where I kind of left I left the door unlocked. I may even have opened it and left it cracked for some shit to get in. I know all of that. So I'm not mad at that person. I just, at the end of the day, I just wish it never happened.
Yeah.
I wish it never happened.
Yeah.
I wish that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't feel what I felt in that moment. I wish that it didn't trigger me to not want to continue my life. I wish it didn't have the effects that it had on me.
Yeah.
But then it makes me wonder, like, how divine this was, in a sense, too, from a different perspective, because all perspectives are true.
100%.
It makes me wonder how divine this was, because it brought up so much for you.
It needed to happen.
You needed to address it.
It needed to
whatever
happen.
It was.
Whatever.
You needed to address it. So it's like, I feel like maybe I think sometimes we try to avoid what we're feeling because we can't separate how I feel versus what I want to do. Right? Like, I want to kill you. I'm not gonna kill you, right? We can have they can both exist.
Yep.
Right.
It's
right?
not mutually
So
exclusive.
I just wonder if, maybe you're meant to lean in it a little more and really feel it. Because it seems like this was really significant, but it's like, it almost makes me question, like, what's still lingering. Because you're like, I wish it never happened. I wish it didn't do this. I wish it didn't do that. But why? Because it brought so much up for you in a good way.
In a good way.
I think the part of me that wishes it never happened is the negative effects that it had on me, and what those effects had on the people that I love. That's why I wish it didn't happen.
That's what you worry about the most.
Yeah.
You worry about the people around you that you love more than...
What about Megan?
What about Megan?
Hello?
Literally.
Like, why does it matter what the fuck, how it affected her, how it
Fuck
affected
that.
all these people? Who gives a fuck?
It's gonna affect us.
How's it
We're in
affect
your
you?
life. You. I
know
feel
what I
like
mean?
you do that in every day.
You don't have to be perfect. And I feel like even when she went back upstairs and she had to make the drink again, you don't have to be perfect. Like, you don't have to be perfectly put together and perfect hair, perfect makeup, perfect mom, perfect wife. You don't gotta be like that all the time.
You're
allowed to just feel
whether
whatever the
it's
fuck comes
pouring
up.
a drink or whether it's the podcast.
I think it's because I want to give my best.
I was just about to say she's gonna give her best.
But your best changes every day.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think that it's
I
think it's more leaning into that your best may look different.
Yeah.
And if your best is the fact that you fucking just woke up today,
that's it.
That is your
That
best.
is your
And
best
that's
for that
okay.
day.
That's your
and
best.
I do think that there are times where I do lean into that, and I'm okay with just giving what I have. But I think because my mom, and it's not in a bad way, but my mom made me so self-aware.
Yeah.
and so like
good,
hold me accountable to myself.
That's so good.
That there is no excuse, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't like, it's very like, for me, I'm gonna be 100% real, and I don't think I've ever said this out loud. I was talking to my mom the other day, and she said, we were talking, and I was like, Mom, I said, the thought of not wanting to be here on the earth or not wanting to live anymore didn't go away. I said, it's like I signed the contract. When I decided after that year of going through the shit that I went through that I was going to stay here, I'm not going to end my life, right? Because that was a real possibility. That was it wasn't like oh, you're sad. No, it was a real possibility. Like, I was 100% cool with that. Yeah. Like, it was a determination. I was fine with that. I had come to that resolve. And my mom had sent me a message, and it changed the course of how I decided to live, and with a lot of other things accompanied to that. But it was like I signed the contract. So now I'm obligated, right?
To figure it out. To commit. But it didn't change how I felt.
The feeling. Nothing about how I feel has changed, but my thinking has changed. My decisions have changed, but how I feel has not changed. And it's hard to lean into, as you say, what does Megan want? How does Megan feel? It's hard to lean into that, because why does it matter? What difference is that going to make? What does that do? But what does that do for me to lean into this feeling of hopelessness, of not wanting to be here, of what good does that do?
You lean into the feeling of the truth.
But that is the truth.
Because it's still there.
But I'm saying that is the truth. It doesn't matter. Whatever I feel is what I feel. This is how I feel. But it's not going to change the fact that I committed to something, and how I feel doesn't reflect on the commitment. And so what's the point of talking? Why lean into that? Because it's not going to change.
I feel like, too, like, it's important to differentiate I am sad versus I am feeling sad, or I am feeling like suicidal, or I am suicidal. It's like detaching yourself from that emotion is really important. And I feel like what you're talking about, I completely understand. You're like, what the fuck is the point if I lean into it? I still fucking feel it. But I feel like you're allowed to lean into it and still do something different. I feel suicidal. I am not suicidal. Those are two different things.
Right.
So it's like, I think sometimes we're afraid to lean into it, because we're like, if I lean into it, am I going to go take a bottle of pills? Am I not going to want to be here? I mean, like, what's going to happen if I actually allow myself to feel this extremely detrimental, uncomfortable emotion? We have to look at even feeling suicidal the same as happiness, because then you're deeming them as one's a good one, one's a bad one, and then you start pushing it away and you start judging it. So I think that's like why, I guess, like, for you, when I listen to you, it's like, it does matter how you feel. It is everything. Your kids, your husband aren't gonna be enough to pull you up, to wake you up. That's not gonna be enough.
And I feel like I felt that last year. I knew that. I knew in that moment, it don't matter. You can have the kids, and you look at my life on the outside, everything looks pretty decent. You got a nice house. You moved to Atlanta. Your husband makes good money. You have 3 kids. Your son plays baseball. One's in karate. You have a special needs child. Like, you got 3 dogs. Everything looks fine. But the reality is that I deal with something that is incurable. I am wired to think differently, and then you add on a spiritual aspect of who I am, and yes, I recognize how I feel. I'm aware. I'm not naive. I'm aware of how I feel. I'm aware of the things that I feel, but I don't want to, like, I'm not going to talk about it.
Right.
I'll talk about it on a platform like this. Cool. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about mental health. But I'm not going to come to you, because if I came to you every single time I thought about killing myself, I would be talking to you all day. what's the point? Why give that life? Why give it energy? Why acknowledge? I can acknowledge it, but why feed it?
But you don't know what that release is because you've never done it.
I feel like I have. I feel like I've been honest. I feel like everybody knows. Who doesn't know?
No, I'm talking about every time. I'm saying.
But right. But my thing is too is like, so what happens if you address it every time?
Right,
because the only way that you can heal it, mind you, we're never fully healed. Like, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. For sure. I was in therapy for 6 years. I could have been in therapy for 60 years, okay?
Right.
You're never fully healed, you know? But it's like, when I hear you say that, I'm just like, okay, well, why not lean into it and like really see what that is? Because it's like on the other side of that fear is freedom. You know what I mean?
Because you don't have to go through it alone.
Because
and I don't think you are.
I don't think I do.
And I think you're way better at that.
But it's like, why are these feelings not important enough to address every single time? Whether it's with her, whether that's with yourself, whether that's with God. Mm-hmm. Why not? Because those feelings, suicidal, happy. Again, we're talking opposite side of the spectrum. Why aren't those fucking important? Mm-hmm. Because what happens is we're at this long table with all of our feelings. I'm sorry, I'm talking loud. No. We're at this long table with all of our different personalities, all of our feelings, and on that side of the table, it's deemed bad because, well, what if I fucking do it? Mm-hmm. But it's if that is a part of you and you're saying it's incurable, I cannot. That's how I feel. It's fucking valid. Mm-hmm. It's valid. Everything you feel is valid. You're allowed to feel that. Mm-hmm. And I think we judge it because we're like, who would this affect if I, whatever. Mm-hmm. But you got to just feel it. Yeah. That's how, like,
I think I do, but I don't want to give, I'm more aware of how that effect is going to be on the
but
people.
You're not a burden. I'm here to tell you right now, you're not a burden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not a fucking burden. Mm-hmm. You have people like her and so many other people around you that fucking love you.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. And that's why they're put in position because they are here to love you and assist you on your journey because only you have the answers. Mm-hmm. She don't got the answers. They don't got the answers. I don't got the answers. No, Sway don't got the answers. Mm-hmm. But they're here to assist you on your journey.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with feeling the way you feel. We just got to stop judging it. Yeah. And if some days, like, you know what, bitch, I don't want to fucking be here. What the fuck is this? What's the point? Y'all figure out the bills. I want to fucking be a mom. Y'all figure it out. I'm tired.
Yep.
Let me lean into that.
But see, Megan's not going to do that.
And I know she's strong.
She's not going to do that.
But you.
I mean, it's a different strength. I'm not trying to say that I'm not trying to make myself out to be no superhero or
you
no.
Are a superhero.
But I'm saying I'm not saying like, oh, I'm strong because I can keep it in, and I'm strong because I keep it to myself. I'm not saying that. It's a different type of strength. I think for me, my mom used to always tell me, think about what you're thinking about. You always have to be aware of what you're thinking about. The Bible talks about, like, it says, there's a scripture that says, take every thought into captivity because every thought isn't your own. And so I feel like for me, I'm such a process person. I have to go through a process before I can articulate or express what I'm going through to somebody else. Because I need to make sure that I'm being like, okay, was that your thought? Was that a thought that some outside force placed into your, you know what I'm saying? Like, where did that come from? Where is that idea? And how do you feel about it? Because I feel like a lot of times we just dump on people. And I don't think that that's okay all the time. Like, that is a life too. That is a person too with feelings and who could be impacted by you saying, hey, by the way, 90% of the days that I'm on this earth, I don't want to be here. How does that make, like, as a person, right? That's like a nigga being like, I love having sex with you, but I want to have sex with somebody else.
I can accept that.
Right. But everybody isn't you.
But
everybody can accept that. And some people have
where people can though.
To an extent, I think you think that until you experience that.
You haven't done it yet.
You're right.
But my question, I guess one of my questions to you would be,
like, I feel like,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I guess because again, I'm outside looking at this. Is my first time meeting you. Mm-hmm. What do you gain? I'm just talking about you. I'm not talking about, okay, nobody thinks I'm suicidal today. It's a plus. What do you gain from keeping it in?
I think for me, I don't know if I gain anything. I think that I present myself with the opportunity to have, like, I talk to Jordan about it a lot. I call meetings in my head. I have a meeting. And I call all my emotions. I call the truth. I call my thoughts. And I call God. And I call them to a table inside myself. And I'm saying, okay, let's have the meeting. And let's consider all options. Let's consider it all. Let's consider the truth. Let's consider how I feel. Let's consider my emotions. Let's consider what happened. Let's consider the other people involved. I try to do all of that so I know that I'm not responding out of emotion. I'm not reacting or responding out of a temporary emotion. This is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm big on that. My mom used to tell me all the time, don't make a permanent decision based off a temporary action. And there are a lot of times where I have that, fuck it, like, I don't care. Because guess what? Life moves on. It does. But that's what I'm saying. You can know the truth.
So what are the healthy things you do to move past that? What is something, if anybody is watching this right now that is battling with bipolar depression, what can you tell them to do?
Well, for me, I know the truth. And I consider all truths. I consider the truth of how I feel. And I also consider the truth of I am worthy of being loved. I should stay here. People do want me here. My kids do love me. I am a good mom. I'm not a fucked up person. You know what I mean? I do have flaws. But I'm not I'm not replaceable in the sense of who I am as a person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not unforgettable. I'm not unworthy. So I think you have to consider all truths. And I think that you have to be real about it too. Because the reality is, yes, if I'm not here, you guys are going to be sad and you're going to move the fuck on. That is also the reality.
That's anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is still a truth.
Yeah, you're
right. And I consider all truth. All of it. And what holds me and what keeps me here is my purpose. Not my kids, not my husband, not my mother, not my best friend, not people, but it is what I feel like I am called to do on this earth. And I feel like I would be remiss and I would be irresponsible and I would be disrespectful if I did not honor the love that I feel like the people who love me have poured into me. I feel like that would be a dishonor of that and my purpose. Like, if you were sent here on earth to do something, do it. Do it. You know what I mean? Don't just fucking do it. That's what keeps me here. Regardless of how I feel, I still want other people to know that there is hope.
Of course.
And that they have value and that they have purpose.
Yeah.
And how would be a coward to preach that and not be here?
Yeah.
Or to say all that and then not be. Like, I would be a coward to do that. No. Deal with how you feel, but learn how to manage that in this life. Because feelings are feelings. I might wake up tomorrow and never feel suicidal again. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's predicated on my practices, but it's also, feelings are temporary. They're not forever.
To what?
From there, this perfect segue for you, because we're putting now 2 hours and 2 hours.
Jesus. Okay.
But I think that I heard, and I'll let you speak on this briefly if you don't mind, because you were on I don't know what interview you did, but you said that after your son was born, you had that thought for the first time. You had suicidal thoughts. You had that moment of like, I don't know if I want to continue to do this anymore after the situation with your child's father and going through what you went through. Was that your first time of thinking that?
It was. I've been in therapy for about 6 years, and after I gave birth to my baby, I had just experienced a lot of like hormonal changes. And when me and him were arguing, really like on the outs of our relationship, I was just like, you know what? This would be a lot easier if like you can just take care of our son. I don't need to be here. I don't have to worry about bills. I don't have to worry about being a provider. And I don't even have to worry about being on my own because you'll just have him, you know? I think for me, the biggest thing that kept me afloat, it really wasn't even like my son. It was more so just like the will to live and like knowing I was worthy of more. I think, you know, for sure, like I can relate to what you're talking about, but I have not walked a mile in your shoes.
100%,
you know, so our
100%.
situations are different.
They're different.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it is hard because like, it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders and like you have to be fucking Wonder Woman and put a smile on. It's okay. Hi everyone, it's Brittany Renner. You know, when I'm
when people look to you,
they're looking like,
that's
and I'm
the
like,
thing.
I'm not
It's like,
okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
That's
I had
okay.
to, and it was like, even when my baby was 2.5 months old, I was not okay to go do a club hosting. But my baby daddy, you know, like I had to make money. I had to do what I had to do to provide. And I'm like putting on this happy face. And that was more hurtful than just telling people, I fucking go blow my brains out right now.
But I feel like that's the same thing. I feel like just like you felt like that was my responsibility.
Yeah.
I got to make money.
Yeah.
It don't matter how I feel. That's how I feel.
And then
it don't matter how I
Right.
feel. This is the responsibility. I made the commitment. I said I would be here, so I'm going to be here. Doesn't change how I feel.
You're right. And that feeling was still there. But I feel like for me, it took me like digging deeper and being like, well, why do I want to be here? Because I really could just go to a mountain and blow my brains out and y'all can find me. Why do I even want to be here? Because y'all already don't like me. Y'all don't accept me. Y'all don't uplift me, nothing. Y'all are already going to make fun of me if I die.
Do you feel like that played a part in your mental health? How people perceived you online? Coupled with what you went through with your child's father.
Because it's like, it made me feel like, again, like we could go into that, back to that, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad girl, I'm a bad woman, right? When my car got moved to yellow, it's that same thing where it was like, it seems like I'm the problem here. Well, let's just eliminate the problem. I'm a progressive thinker. Let's get rid of the fucking problem.
Yep.
Right.
You know, so like everybody sees.
Because you're like, I'm not going to be if I'm going to be here, this is who I am.
This is my expression.
This is my expression. Yes.
I shed light on whatever I'm around.
Yes.
So if me shedding light is causing families to break up, couples to break up, everybody to do this.
Yes.
Well, how about y'all just figure it out?
Right.
So, you know, I just feel like I had to let myself feel that and figure out, why do I want to live?
And
why do I want
what got
to
you
be
to that
here?
point?
Why I want to be here? Because I feel like I'm worthy of more. Actually, I know I'm worthy of more.
Yeah.
And it took the situation with me and you, going through those breakups and like building my strength and understanding like, why did I actually want to leave the relationship? The same reason I want to live. Because I'm worth more than this.
Right.
There's more that comes with this.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with my kids or my child, and it got nothing to do with my family. All these people who care about me, I don't give a fuck who cares about me.
Yeah.
When am I going to care about me?
Yeah.
When am I going to? Because one of the quotes I love, it's so cliche, but it's like, the hardest part of the journey is believing you're worth the trip. And it was like, through those moments, that's when I was like, I'm fucking worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I can do this. Like, I can get more. Like, I can be more.
Yeah.
I can feel more. So it's like, it took those treacherous moments for me to be like, there's more to this.
Yeah.
And one of the another thing like I kept holding on to, like a mantra, was, in the end, it's going to be okay. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Like, that's literally what I was like, chugga, chugga, chew. I'm gonna keep going because it ain't the end yet.
Yeah.
So like, that's like what I held on to in those moments where I was just like, fuck this shit.
And anyone on the opposite end of the spectrum, be there for those people that are going through that. Like, everybody goes through stuff, you know, but if you don't have a chemical imbalance, if you never experience suicidal thoughts or bipolar depression, which I've never experienced, be there for those people no matter how hard it is. I'm on that end of the spectrum.
I heard a quote. I was listening to a TED Talk because I really try to listen to as much information as I can to have understanding. And I heard someone say, they were like, there's nothing that you can do for someone who is suicidal or depressed. All you can do, the best thing you could do is tell them you love them every single day. There's just nothing that you can do because it is a decision and it's a mindset that you have. And I think about that woman who was, I forget her name, and God forgive me, the woman who was Miss USA, and we talked a lot about her. I mean, she interviewed with Denzel days prior to jumping off a building.
Jesus.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, people, what I've experienced a lot is that people like to criticize someone's expression of how they feel, whether that be on social media, whether that be however in life. They you just emotional, or you're just too sensitive, or you're just seeking attention. And what I will say to any of those people, think whatever you want to think. But if somebody has shown any signs of true depression or suicide, take it serious. Don't ever fucking think it's a joke. Don't ever think, oh, you're the boy that cried wolf. Don't ever think that. That woman was smiling and did an interview with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, her mom.
And days later,
said she had no idea.
jumped to a bit. Her mom had no clue.
Yeah.
Said, I never thought that would happen.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of that, and don't think that it's your responsibility to save them.
Right.
Be responsible to love them. Love them. That's all you're responsible to do, is love them. All I can do is love you. I'm not responsible to save you, and that's in any relationship. I'm not responsible to save you. I'm not responsible to fix you. I'm not responsible to heal you.
It all comes back to you.
Yeah.
I'm only
Yeah.
responsible, and this might be a controversy thing, but I believe that. I believe that our only responsibility to each other is to love each other. Period.
I love that.
Yeah.
I don't think that you owe me anything, but I do believe you owe me to love me.
Yeah.
We owe that to each other.
And if you love me, there's certain things you won't do. There's certain things you will do. There's certain,
Yeah.
that's it.
I think that's
it all
important.
boils down to that.
I think you should, and wherever I am in my mental health and how I feel and how I think, because there's a lot that encompasses that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a cookie cutter perfect life. You know what I'm saying? My parents didn't have a white picket fence, and they've been married for 50 years, and they're perfect. And we all been through shit. You know what I'm saying? I have a child that has 2 incurable diagnoses. The only child I prayed for, the only child that I wanted to have, the only child that I planned. I have 3, and all same man, but that middle one, I planned for him. I wanted him more than anything I wanted in the world. And I have 2 incurable diagnoses, and my child has never talked. My child is nonverbal. He's 9 years old. Do you see what I'm saying? So I haven't had the perfect situation, as whatever it may look or not look. But at the end of the day, all of it contributes to the story, and all of it is important. All of it matters. And I'm not going to reject, like you said, lean into it. I do lean into, I feel like that is me leaning into it, saying like, you know what, this is what it is. I may not feel different. I'm not going to come to you every single time I feel depressed. I'm not going to come to you every single time I feel suicidal. I'm not. That is me leaning into it. That's me accepting and owning. You might have you have a chemical imbalance. It's not a might. You have a chemical imbalance. You're going to feel things and experience things that other people don't experience, and it might be dark. That's okay. You have to figure out how to navigate through that. It's not being naive of it or pretending that it doesn't exist. To me, that's me leaning into it and accepting it. But also loving you enough to not put that burden on you. Because that's for me. That ain't for you. God gave that to me. God allowed that to happen to me. So yes, I'm going to lean into it by saying I accept it. I may not want to be here every single day, but I'm committed. I'm trying my best. I'm doing the work. And maybe one day I won't feel that way. Today's not that day.
And that's
Yesterday wasn't that day. The day before that wasn't that day. A week ago wasn't that day. A year ago wasn't that day. But maybe that day exists. And if it happens, it happens. But what I know for sure is that this is where I am now. And at least I've committed to being here. And I haven't committed to a lie. At least I've committed to the truth.
And that's all you can do.
It's all I can do.
I give you my best today, and my best gets better.
Like, that's all I can do. I can't give anything else to that. But that's all I can do, is this is where I am today. And it's a minute-by-minute thing sometimes, most times. That's
Absolutely.
just what it is. And I feel like people aren't real about how they really feel and what their mental health really is, because we live in this cookie-cutter social media world where everything has to be Instagram perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not. Some days
Me
I'm
neither.
sad. Some days I'm sad. And you know what? The thing I love about you, some days I want to get on Instagram and be like, you know what? Fuck everybody. Fuck all of y'all. Fuck them kids. Fuck them dogs. Fuck that man. Fuck y'all. Fuck you. And be out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, who you gonna run to when I'm not here? Yeah, bitch.
Yeah.
That's how I feel some days. Who's gonna clean up? Who's gonna help you? Who's gonna be your shoulder to cry on when I'm not here? Deal with that. Some days I want to be like that. Some days I want to be like, accept the bullshit that I have, accept my flaws, and stop wanting me for the parts of me that you only like. Stop accepting me for the parts that make you feel comfortable and accept me for the parts that make you uncomfortable. Sometimes I want to scream that on social media.
But people hearing you say that is going to be so healing for them because it's just a bunch of highlights. It's real as fuck. It's a bunch of people on social media pretending to be something they're fucking not.
Yeah.
So it's like, honestly, like, I feel like you've shown so much strength. And vulnerability. Just speaking your fucking truth, and there are going to be so many people that are like, thank you. Just like how she was such a huge part, a puzzle piece in my journey, you're going to be the same thing. Even just like hearing you say this, it's like, finally, like somebody say something fucking real around this bitch. And that's why y'all are going to be the #1 podcast in the world. Because nobody's saying real shit. Nobody's saying, hey, I didn't want to be here yesterday. Hope the weather's great wherever y'all are.
Dude, man, I was
like, I want to hear something real for once.
I was listening to Jay-Z out song, and I'm like, was anyone listening to these lyrics?
What song?
I don't remember what song it was. I can pull it up, but it was like, he was like, basically like, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. I'm questioning all of these things, and I feel like we do hear those things, but put a good beat on it, and we're oblivious to what people are saying.
People aren't really listening.
Because we're not listening. You're not listening. And that's, I'm like, so sometimes I'm like, what's the point? Ain't nobody listening. You know what I'm saying? I can post an amazing caption and post my feelings on Instagram with no picture of me, just maybe a picture of something else, maybe the clouds. Post the caption. I post a picture of me showing a little bit of cleavage, a little bit of this, same caption. The likes are out, the likes are drastically different. So it perpetuates this narrative of nobody cares what you have to say.
And that's where I'm here to remind you that, like, there are people who are tuned in, and you have to trust that whoever your message is meant to get to, whether that's 5 likes, whether that's 500,000 likes,
it's for them.
It's for them. Because
Yeah.
energetically, you guys are a match, and there's something that God wanted you to deliver to them. Just like with her. Like, I didn't think she was going to be such a huge fucking puzzle piece of my journey. I'm thinking, like, I never met you in person. I just am, like, an Instagram fan of you. Like, what does your life to do with mine? Everything. You know what I mean? Like, you encouraged me and inspired me to fucking leave. Like, how imagine if she was like, it doesn't matter if I tell her what's going on. What if I lied to her about how I feel? Like,
where would you be at?
Her testimony and just how she was, like, it changed my life. Yeah. And I'm so happy to get on this podcast and be able to say that. And even just, like, talking to you guys, like, I'm telling you, you guys are going to do amazing things with this healing. Because already just being transparent about what you guys have gone through, I'm telling you, it's going to change so many people's worlds. Because you don't think those little things matter. The little things really are the big things.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
Those kisses on the forehead in relationships, those are the things that we end up leaving because we don't get. So it's like, I'm telling you, y'all are doing God's work. That's why, God did. I'm telling you, you guys are like in purpose, on path, and like keep fucking speaking your truth. Like, I'm telling you, those 5 likes, 500,000 likes, it fucking matters to somebody. It matters.
It matters.
Yeah.
It fucking matters.
And same to you. Like, I will say, there was a time where I didn't get it. You know what I mean? I didn't get it. I didn't agree with the delivery, not the message. It was never about a message. And I think one of the videos that I really connected to you with was one where you were like, you wrote you had like a journal and you were sitting down and you were like, you were talking about your old self and I'm done with, it was like a long video you did on YouTube. You were just like,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And I think that video, I was like, that's the person I want to talk to that person. I want to know more about that person, because there was this raw, just vulnerability that I loved, because I felt that, and I felt like there are so many times where I could relate to that in my life. Now that I'm 32, where I was like, damn, I look back on certain things in my life and I'm like, I hated that I did that. I hated that I acted that way. I hated that 100%. I responded that way. I hated that was people's perception of me. 100%. I hated that. And then you take accountability and you're like, okay, I'm not going to hate myself for those things. I'm going to own it. I'm going to take it and grow. And I love that video that you did, and you were vulnerable and you cried and you were real. You were just honest. And I don't want you to leave here without us publicly giving you your flowers as well. Your truth is important, and I always want you to consider that in every single thing that you do. And I want you to know that if you decided to never post a fucking picture on Instagram again, your voice is still valid. It still matters. It's still needed, and there's a place for you. There's always been a place for you. Before the foundations of this earth were created, there was a place for you. There was a moment for you. There was a calling for you. There was a purpose for you, and that's never going to change. And it don't matter who you've been attached to. You are important. Not your things.
It's
not
so
your
like
circumstances.
ironic too. Like, I love irony, because like I have the same message for you. Like, everything you're saying to me
It's a reflection.
It's a reflection.
is literally also to yourself. Like, that's why you've played the background for a long time. You've been called to the stage. Come on.
Purpose.
Like, you're, oh God, please don't do that. Oh God. You're meant to be here, and you're meant to share your story. And I feel like even just all of us sitting here today, like, we have such contrasting beliefs and stories and certain status. Like, we're all different. But we can find some common ground. And I'm telling you, like, the same thing you just told me is exactly what you need to tell your fucking self. Because your fucking story matters. Just like her story mattered to me. It made a difference in my life, and why I was able to fucking finally drop my goddamn nuts and choose myself.
Jesus.
We're all connected.
Yeah.
The sooner we can accept that, the better.
Yeah.
We're all connected.
And we all want the same things. We all want to be seen. I think at the end of the day, we just want to be seen for who we are and accepted and loved. Not to say that we don't want to be challenged, because I believe that you are okay with challenge.
Yeah.
I think you're okay with that. You love that. You love. I think you're okay with somebody being like, Brittany, come on. Do that a little bit. I don't like that. And I think that you accept that, and you're like, yeah, no. Like, you're ready for that. You're ready to take on the challenge. And another thing about B that I love is she's also the same way. She's ready to accept truth and to accept the challenge. And I love that about women like that. And I will defend and fight for you forever, because I know you as a woman. For you to sit here and tell your truth, be authentic on and off camera, I respect you, and you always have my support.
Likewise, honey.
Period. Like, I will go, you know me, I don't play about the people that I love. I will defend you to the ends of the earth. Like, I will.
She about to be in all the comments.
Like, try her. I dare you.
This bitch.
You don't know her.
You don't know her. Like,
she's amazing. She came here in a velour suit.
I'm like,
and didn't ask for shit. She ate the sushi that we gave her.
I'm sitting here with this wine. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I feel like I'm staring at you. It's like a dream.
What do you mean?
This is what dreams are made of, honey.
What do you mean a dream?
I'm woozy.
Are you aware? Are you coherent?
Not really.
Well, then why would you say that? Get off me. I'm sitting here talking about the most deepest parts of myself, and you're like, I don't know where I am.
But this
has been so goddamn beautiful.
What do we know for sure?
What do we know for sure? Can I ask them?
My throat, my eyes. Okay, let's go. I already got to turn out.
Can I ask one?
Okay, you go, Brittany.
We have to
No,
wrap it up.
I already did it last time.
No,
what
go
I
ahead,
would ask
Britt.
is, what do you guys know for sure? I'm sure the viewers would love to know. What do you know for sure? What do you know for sure?
What I'm saying no to for sure?
No, for sure.
That first?
K-N-O-W.
Okay, but we're doing
So either way.
Okay, K-N-O-W. What do you
K-N-O-W.
know?
We can each say something.
What I know for sure
She's
is that
There's no
I am
clue.
so-
She doesn't know for sure.
No, seriously, I'm coherent.
No, you're not.
Creating a safe space for the people that you love is imperative to their healing. So I feel like I've learned that and I've known that for sure. Like I said that earlier in our relationship, this has probably been the most successful relationship that I have. And creating a safe space for you to be yourself, I think is a part of your healing. So know that for sure. Make sure you're there for the people, whether it feels good, it doesn't feel good,
Whether you
it's
agree or
challenging,
not.
you agree, you don't agree. Be there for them and love them through whatever they're going through. And I feel like you were there for me at one point in time when I had my mood swings and my finding myself 2019, 2020. Like that was a hard year for me. It was like, okay, I get it. Like I'm going to have moments, you're going to have moments, but being there for that person is like imperative to their healing.
Yeah. And yours too.
Yeah. What do you know for sure?
What I know for sure is that it's all a journey. Like there is no for sure, maybe. You know what I mean? I think that can change, and I think that it's all about the process and being truthful about where you are right now and what you have now, and being honest and accepting that and deciding that, you know, we all get choices. You get the choice of what you get to do with what the truth is. If this is the truth, you get to decide what you do with that. And I know that for sure, and that no matter how I feel doesn't mean that has to be a reflection of how I live. How I feel is how I feel, but how I live is my decision. You know what I'm saying? I heard somebody say something, they were like, bitterness is not a personality type, it's a decision.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I decide if I feel sad. I decide if I feel mad, and
60 seconds.
I'm good with that. You know what I mean? What do you know for sure?
What I know for sure is that we're all puzzle pieces in this thing called life, and it fucking matters. Every single one of our voices, whether we're a geek in high school or we have 5.7 million followers on Instagram, our voice fucking matters.
100%.
100%.
You're touching somebody.
Yeah. What's a no for sure for all of us?
No, for sure.
No.
I think it's important to have each other's back and to be supportive of each other. You know what I mean? I feel like that is my, no for sure. I'm going to support Brittany Renner from this day forward.
You're like, because I didn't know this.
For
bitch.
sure. Because, I did. But I
okay.
don't know
That's
until
okay.
I have a conversation. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But now I
Yeah.
know. And I'm
Yeah.
responsible to the things that I know. And I feel like I know I got a good insight of who you are. And I'm always
Likewise.
going to support that.
That's a good no for
Likewise.
sure. Oh, you guys.
Number one
What
podcast
episode
in
is
the
this?
world.
I mean, I think
am
Brittany needs to
woozy.
come back again. I
I
think
would
we
love
need
to.
her to
Whenever
have.
y'all want me back, I'm fucking here. This has been.
All right, see you
I have
tomorrow.
never had anybody pray for me. Never. Not in a podcast for a podcast. What? They don't care about that. So there was a
I
lot
did
of
not
firsts.
play that.
Yeah.
I was like, we have to pray.
No, this
We
was
try to pray
this
before
was
every
absolutely
episode
amazing.
and every show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Know For Sure podcast. Make sure you keep the conversation going and use our hashtag KnowForSurePod.
Yes, we want to see you guys share the hashtag KnowForSurePod on all social media platforms. We want to keep the conversation going.
Keep it going. Go to the website, KnowForSurePod.com, and follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter, KnowForSurePod.